Good morning, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please let's settle down. Start this program. If you are outside and you are meant to be in this hall, please come in now. Good morning once again, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to this very important program in honor of our distinguished Professor of Parasitology, Professor Oluwaseyi Adegboyega. At this point, please let's stand for the national anthem.
LAUTECH Anthem.
Please let's be seated. Officially, I want to welcome all of you to this hall. We are gathered to celebrate the very distinguished Professor of Medical Parasitology, Professor Oluwaseyi, Adegboyega, Adeyeba. We appreciate you for your contribution to the development of humanity. We need to put everything in the hands of God. And I want to call on Professor Olusoga to come and lead us on the table.
Let us pray. Our dear everlasting Father, we want to tell you that we are grateful for this beautiful morning. We are grateful for this wonderful opportunity you have given unto us to celebrate your Son, our mentor, a father, a grandfather, a great leader in this university. We appreciate you for how you have preserved his life, even in difficult situations. You have covered him, you have helped him to stay alive, to stay healthy, and to contribute significantly to the progress of this university. We commit this program into your hand. We pray that as we go on, your presence will go with us. It shall be a beautiful time of celebration. Lord, you will take all the glory and the glory alone. Thank you for Johnny mercies for everyone that has come. At the end, when we are going back, everybody will go back safely. At the end of it all, your name alone will be glorified. Thank you, our Heavenly Father. In Jesus' name I pray.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we go to introduction of guests. We'll be fighting through that. And especially want to welcome one person who has contributed more than Adeyeba to the development of humanity and the reason why we are staying. I want to respectfully call on Mama Adeyeba to please be standing for the congregation. That is the last wife. Without God, we would not have gathered here today. Welcome you so much. They have their children here too. Please, I want the children to be all standing for the congregation. Thank you so much for honoring your own children of honoring you too. Please permit me at this point to make some recognitions and invite some dignitaries to the high table. If I have that permission, may I call on the representative of the Vice Chancellor, himself, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Administration of this university, Professor Olusoga. I'd also like to respectfully call on the Registrar of the University, Double Secretary to the Governing Council, Mrs. Valedictory. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the high table the University Bossa, Mr. Olusoga. Permit me to call on the University Librarian, Dr. Mrs. Adegboyega. The two remaining seats here are reserved for our Baba, Professor Adeyeba, and wife. So please, sir, can you please move to the item? Welcome, sir. Mama will welcome you. Welcome, sir. Let's give another round of applause so that we can keep this forward. The other side is meant for somebody who is too. I want to humbly invite the Dean Basic Clinicals of this university, Professor Parasites. I want to call on the active basic medicals, Professor Oluwaseyi, take a seat. We are expecting Professor Mrs. Olusoga, the Dean of Clinicals, and the Provost of Sciences. There is a distinguished individual in this hall, a very good friend, and an academic friend. Talking about the lecturer of today, Professor Olusoga. In the absence of the Provost of the College of Sciences, Professor Samson Adeyeba, please permit me to call on Professor Faros, the Dean of Basic Clinicals, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, distinguished guests. Good morning, sir. The VC, ably represented by the DVC, the principal officers, the celebrants of today, and our mama, who has made it to happen throughout the journey. The strong pillar. We are all welcome to this occasion. It is my pleasure and my delight to say that the journey of 1,000 kilometers starts with one step and then later it ends. The journey of Adeyeba in our midst has been a very, very pleasant one. He's a teacher of teachers and trainer of trainers. He has contributed immensely towards the development of our dear College of Health Sciences and the university as a whole. He has produced, he has reproduced, and those he has produced are still reproducing. One of those people he has produced happens to be our guest lecturer of today, and he himself has reproduced. Therefore, the legacy of Baba Adeyeba continues, and it will continue to grow. I welcome all of us to this beautiful occasion, and I believe strongly that at the end of this lecture, we will have picked one or two things that will take as take home. So I wish us happy celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's short. Loaded remark. I would like to hear the Vice Chancellor on an occasion like this talk about personality of Osun. Oluwaseyi, Vice Chancellor.
Good morning. president of today's and our mother, the wife. Deans and the provost present here this morning. Invited guests. I'm Professor Araro, standing here this morning to represent our VC, Professor Rom KALILU, who is unavoidably absent because he has other agreement that is very important. So I want to read this welcome address on his behalf. Esteemed guests, distinguished colleagues, dear students, and honored family members of our retired professor, it is my privilege to stand before you today to celebrate Professor Oluwaseyi Adeyeba's remarkable career and contributions. As we gather to bid farewell to an extraordinary scholar, teacher, and mentor, we also honor the indelible mark he has left on our institution. Professor Oluwaseyi Adeyeba has dedicated 35 years of his life to our university, inspiring generations of students, shaping the academic landscape, and advancing knowledge in the fields of microbiology, parasitology, infectious disease, and public health. His tireless commitment to excellence, passion for teaching, and generosity of spirit have earned him the respect. Research in parasitology and epidemiology has deepened our understanding of malaria. Emerging infection and other tropical diseases, influencing public health policies and interventions. His contribution to medical microbiology have earned recognition, making him a highly respected figure in his field. Throughout his illustrious career, Professor Adeyeba has made significant contributions to the university. He serves as the pioneer head of the Department of Medical Microbiology and Parasitology and the Dean of the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences in the College of Health Sciences. In these roles, he demonstrated exemplary leadership, fostering academic excellence, research development, and institutional, and upholding the highest standard of academic integrity. His legacy will remain an enduring source of motivation for generations to come. As a colleague, Professor Oluwaseyi Adeyeba has been a pillar of our academic community, always willing to lend his expertise, offer sage advice, and provide unwavering support. His presence has enriched the university as a whole. As we celebrate Professor Adeyeba's remarkable career, we also acknowledge the love and support of his family, who have been his rock throughout this. We are grateful for their sacrifices and for sharing with us. To our esteemed guests, I thank you for joining us in honoring this distinguished academic. Your presence is a testament to our respect and admiration for Professor Adeyeba. I encourage us to listen attentively to his valedictory lecture, which I'm sure will be a repository of wisdom and knowledge. To Professor Adeyeba, I offer our heartfelt gratitude for your dedication, passion, and commitment to our university. Your legacy will continue to inspire us, and your impact will be felt for generations to come. As you begin a new chapter in life, we wish you joy, happiness, and continued fulfillment. Thank you for listening.
you so much, sir. At this point, we want to quickly run through this talk. And one of them is just for the we also want to recognize people from the Osun State University. I want to recognize especially the Reverend Shimola the next set of people, I don't want to lump them together this time around. They are celebrants. Proofs of Baba's determination to succeed in life. Children, starting with Mr. Adegboyega, Adeyeba, what to recognize his teachers and Parasites is very important. I also want to recognize Professor John Akande. You can learn your land. You can get another. This is somewhere of the world. This is the way Dr. Emmanuel Makindiri, National Orlando, Mr. Adeyeba, Engineer Joshua Makindiri, Deacon Emmanuel Iwoye, Deacon Adegboyega, Mr. Adeyeba, Mr. Adebola, Mr. Nicola, Mr. Provost, Mr. Adeyeba, Mr. Olusoga, Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Ogbomoso, Mr. Soga, Mrs. Adegboyega. We are all welcome to LAUTECH. We appreciate your presence. I'm praying to the Almighty God that your own time of joy will come. We'll go to the next item on our program, which is citation of the celebrant. And I want to invite Professor Yemisi Adesiji to come and read Baba's citation and introduce the guest lecturer, Professor Adesiji.
Good afternoon, sirs and ma'ams. It's a privilege to welcome everyone here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with a great honor that I present the citation of a distinguished scholar, our father, a mentor, and institutional leader, Professor Olusoga Adegboyega, this morning. He was born on February 7, 1985, in Ile-Ife, Osun State. Professor Adeyeba hailed from a royal Otutu compound of Ladido Reading House. His journey of education and excellence began at Eleja Anglican Primary School and continued at Anglican Grammar School, Ile-Ife, where he displayed remarkable academic excellence. With a passion for medical science, he pursued medical laboratory science in Teaching Hospital, University College Hospital Ibadan, earning the Associate of Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria, FMLSCN, in bacteriology in 1979. His thirst for knowledge led him to obtain a fellowship in medical laboratory science, FMLSCN, in parasitology in 1981, and an associate from the Institute of Biomedical Science, London, AMBPS, 1991. He was also determined to contribute significantly to medical research, which he furthered his studies at the University of Ibadan, where he earned MSc Microbiology in 1983, MPhil in Parasitology 1986, and a PhD in Parasitology 1995. Under the tutelage of renowned scholar Professor Rom KALILU and Professor Valedictory, he distinguished himself by carrying out major research in parasitology and came up with significant contribution to knowledge. Professor Adeyeba also continued his career with Western State Ministry of Health, serving in various hospitals across Oyo State and Osun State. His expertise in parasitology and public health expertise in parasitology and in vital role as State Secretary of the Nigerian DD1 Eradication Program, Nigeria, from 1990 to 1992. He later rose to become the Assistant Director in 1995 and became Deputy Director, Vector Control of Osun State Ministry of Health in 1996. In 1997, Professor Adeyeba transitioned into academic, joining LAUTECH University of Technology, LAUTECH, as a lecturer one. Through hard work and commitment, he rose to become a professor of medical microbiology and parasitology. He was the founding head of the Department of Medical Microbiology and Parasitology. Later, he served as Deputy Dean of the Student Affairs and the first Dean of the Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences, the College of Health Sciences, Laboratory Technology. Professor Adeyeba also was appointed as a visiting professor of the University of Benin College of Medicine 2006 to 2009, where he played a key role in advancing the new academic program. A true academic, Professor Adeyeba is a renowned researcher with over 75 publications in prestigious national and international medical journals. His research focuses on medical parasitology, vector control, and made a keynote contribution in malaria epidemiology. He addressed physical health challenges in Nigeria and beyond. He actively participated in numerous international conferences, sharing groundbreaking findings, and that has shaped the medical practice in the field of public health. Beyond research and teaching, Professor Adeyeba also held leadership positions at LAUTECH, serving also as chairman of various committees, including Mass Transit Subcommittee in Osogbo, Accommodation Management Committee, Faculty of Basic Medical Sciences Board. He also was an integral part of governing bodies of the University Senate Research Committee, College of Health Sciences and Academic Board, and Postgraduate School Board. Beyond his professional achievements, Professor Adeyeba was a devoted family man. He was a good husband to Mrs. Olanike Adeyeba, Alice, and together they were blessed with wonderful children. He's a man of deep faith and love. He prayed for his children daily and inspired them to be great and nurtured them to become great, as you can see, great for this occasion. Towards the time his bound to the university, Professor Adeyeba remains deeply engaged in research, mentorship, public advocacy, and his legacy as a scientist, administrator, a mentor, and a family man continue to inspire a generation of researchers, healthcare professionals, and academics. Ladies and gentlemen, in celebrating this great man of God that is committed to excellence, is a beacon of knowledge, and is dedicated to service of the university, I want us to appreciate it and not let his legacy as left behind to suffer, and we build on this. Giving thanks to God and celebrating this great man today, we celebrate this. Thank you.
Prof, we have just completed one side of the assignment. We have to read the citation of the guest lecturer, Professor David Bishop.
She did not hear. She did not hear.
So, since we are celebrating, I want to seek the indulgence of the Vice Chancellor. We are used to unite. Let us have light music from our own. Abakar will give us light music. If that is not available, can I bring you to the podium? Guest lecturer, Professor David Bishop.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start with this protocol without wasting my time. And I also want to salute the celebrant of today. Yes, I was asked for my citation, but I felt today it's to celebrate our father, Professor Oluwaseyi, Adegboyega, Adeyeba. I would just say one or two things. Yes, I'm in Osun State University right now, but I'm a product of LAUTECH University of Technology. I joined LAUTECH as a lecturer too in 2006. To the glory of God, I became professor in LAUTECH University of Technology in 2018 as a professor of infectious diseases and antimicrobials. During my undergraduate days at University College Hospital, Professor Adeyeba was one of the persons that made the majority of us to fall in love with microbiology. And I remember in those days, medical laboratory science has myriads of discipline. And you say, chemical pathology, what do? They just add colors together and match colors. What are you going here to do? And you will tell us, microbiology does it with wiring. You have to use your initiative, you have to use your intellect, you have to use your brain. No machine works for you. And today, we still use wiring in medical microbiology. If you go to Germany, you go to the United Kingdom, you go to America, microbiologist does it with wiring. Thank you very much. Today, I have a singular responsibility to deliver this lecture on his behalf. Parasites, body, and challenges, my efforts towards healthier communities. And also, my dear sister, Prof, that read his side jobs, decided to skip all of the story about the boy Oluwaseyi Adeyeba, the man Oluwaseyi Adeyeba, in order not to waste our time. So I'll just go straight to the lecture. Research. What are parasites? A parasite is defined as an organism inhabiting another organism. In parasitology, we have Adeyeba as and contributed significantly. Parasites are classified as protozoa and helminths. In addition, parasitology includes entomology because of their special role as a vector or as insect in transmission of diseases. Prof. Adeyeba's focus in this area is the study of diseases that cause or carry insects. The term parasite, pathogen, and disease are often used interchangeably. However, disease refers to the pathogenic condition of a host, including the signs and symptoms of infection, whereas parasites and pathogens are disease-causing agents. Protozoa, the overview of the parasitic organism. Protozoa microscopy, single-celled organisms that can either exist as free-living entities or as parasites, depending on their environment and life cycle. They are among the simplest, yet most diverse life forms, characterized by the ability to multiply rapidly, especially when inside a suitable host. This unique trait allows protozoa to thrive and contribute to developing severe infections, even the minimal number of initial organisms. Protozoa are distributed across various ecosystems, including water, soil, and the tissues and fluids of animals and humans. While many protozoa are harmless and play essential roles in nutrient cycling and ecosystem functioning, several species are pathogenic, causing debilitating diseases. These parasitic protozoa significantly impact global health, especially in developing regions where diseases like malaria, amoebiasis, and leishmaniasis are prevalent. In humans, protozoa are classified according to the body systems they infect, and also including the organs of movement of this parasite. The two major groups are intestinal protozoa, which primarily affect the gastrointestinal system, and blood protozoa, which invade and circulate in the bloodstream or other tissues of man and animal. Key examples of intestinal protozoa are amoebas, ciliates, flagellates. The blood protozoa, which are the invaders of the circulatory and immune system. Unlike intestinal protozoa, blood protozoa primarily infect the circulatory system and other intestinal tissue or internal tissues. These parasites are often transmitted through insect vectors such as mosquitoes, tsetse flies, and sandflies. Blood protozoa infections are particularly devastating due to their systemic nature, which affects multiple organs and can be fatal without treatment. Prominent categories of blood protozoa are epicomplexans, trypanosomes, leishmania, and so on. What are the challenges in combating protozoa infections? Combating protozoa infections represents a present global health challenge due to their complex nature and the interplay of biological, environmental, and socio-economic factors. Protozoa diseases such as malaria, leishmaniasis, and trypanosomiasis affect millions globally, particularly in low and middle-income countries. Efforts to combat these infections face significant hurdles. Helminths. The overview of parasitic organisms. Helminths are a diverse group of parasitic worms that infect humans and animals, posing significant health, agricultural, and economic challenges worldwide. These organisms are multicellular eukaryotes characterized by their elongated, flat, or round-shaped bodies, depending on the class of these helmets. Unlike protozoa, which are microscopic and unicellular, helmets are macroscopic and can be seen with the naked eyes in their adult stage. They are eukaryotes, and their ability to invade the human body and cause chronic diseases makes them a significant concern in public health. Helminths are broadly classified into three major groups based on their morphological and biological characteristics. These are nematodes, cestodes, and trematodes. And one major example, and nematodes are further divided into intestinal and tissue nematodes. Intestinal nematodes. The major intestinal nematodes infecting humans include species from different genera that are grouped based on their life cycles, infective stages, and mode of infection. Their mode of infection is fecal oral, which is ingestion of eggs from contaminated sources. Below are common pathogenic intestinal nematodes, and these are Ascaris microbials, which are called human roundworm in the layman language, Trichuris trichuria, Ankylostoma duodenale and Mercator americanus, Enterobalus vermicularis, Strongyloides, Stachyloides, and so on and so forth. Hence, implication of intestinal nematodes. Intestinal nematodes, including Ascaris microbials, Trichuris trichuria, and hookworm, are responsible for significant morbidity, particularly in resource-limited setting with poor sanitation and hygiene. Nutritional deficiencies. Intestinal nematodes contribute significantly to malnutrition, particularly in children. These parasites compete with their hosts for nutrients, producing iron, protein, and essential vitamin deficiencies. For example, Ascaris microbials can impair the absorption of dietary nutrients. At the same time, hookworm infections are a significant cause of iron deficiency anemia due to blood loss at the site of intestinal attachment, particularly in pregnant women. Chronic malnutrition can lead to stunted growth, delayed development, and reduced immunity, making individuals more susceptible to other infections, gastrointestinal and systemic symptoms. Infection with intestinal nematodes often cause abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Heavy warm bodies can lead to intestinal obstruction in severe cases, as seen with Ascaris lubricoides. Chronic diarrhea caused by ringworm contributes to dehydration and further nutritional depletion. These symptoms can significantly reduce the quality of life, particularly in children and pregnant women, who are more vulnerable to the effect of parasitic infections as a result of low immunity. Cognitive impairment. The health impact of intestinal nematodes extends to mental development. Chronic infection in children are associated with reduced academic performance due to fatigue, attention deficit, and impaired cognitive development caused by persistent nutritional deficiencies and anemia. Also, there is also economic impact, which is beyond the physical effects. Intestinal nematodes have a significant socioeconomic impact, reduced productivity in infected adults, and absenteeism in adults and children due to illness. Major tissue nematodes. These nematodes can be classified into several key species based on their predilections for tissues and the disease they cause. Wuchereria bancrofti, Brugia malayi, and Brugia timori, Onkosaka volvulus, loa, Dracunculus medinensis, Trichinella spiralis. Cestodes. Cestodes, commonly known as tapeworms, are parasitic flatworms belonging to the class Cestoda under the phylum Platyhelminths. They are categorized based on their host preferences, life cycle characteristics, and morphological features. Humans often serve as definitive host for cestodes, such as Tinea solium, Tinea saginata, Diphyllobacterium latum, which are called fish tapeworm. Women can also serve as accidental intermediate hosts for Echinococcus granulosus, resulting in severe conditions like pediatric disease. Transmission typically occurs through ingesting undercooked or contaminated meat, fish, or food containing cestodes egg. Diseases and health implications of cestodes. Cestose infection have significant public health implications, particularly in regions with poor sanitation, lack of veterinary controls, and inadequate meat inspection. Preventive measures include hygiene practice, botriasis, and echinococcus. And as mentioned, the trematodes. Trematodes or flus are parasitic flatworm causing significant human diseases. They belong to the class Trematoda within the phylum Platyhelminth, and they have complex life cycles involving one or more intermediate hosts, typically fresh water snails. The major groups of parasitic trematodes that affect humans include blood flows, liver flows, and intestinal flows. They are responsible for various diseases that have significant health implications globally. The disease caused by trematodes often results in chronic health issues, organ damage, and can lead to severe complications if left untreated. The body of parasites. Gastrointestinal parasitic infections are globally distributed, and they have a significant impact on developing nations. Certain parasites possess the ability to afflict both human and animal, posing a severe threat to the well-being of both species. Factors such as inadequate personal hygiene, suboptimal environmental sanitation, and various socio-economic, demographic, and health-related behaviors contribute to the transmission of these infections. The health status and hygiene practices of food handlers play a vital role in determining the contamination of food and beverages, particularly in regions with weak regulatory frameworks for food hygiene. Food handlers act as carriers and disseminators of enteropathogens, directly or indirectly contaminated food, and posing a potential threat to consumer health. The area beneath fingernails, which is challenging to clean, harbors a high concentration of microorganisms, further increasing the risk of contamination. Infected food handlers with poor personal hygiene can serve as a significant source of transmission to society. These handlers are often asymptomatic carriers who are unaware of their role in spreading these infections, which hampers effective control and elimination effects. Intestinal parasitic infections often do not exhibit clinical signs and symptoms, and they have several potential carriers such as food handlers, making eradication and control challenging. Poor hand hygiene and the absence of food safety training are significant factors contributing to the high prevalence of intestinal parasitic infections among food handlers. Regular medical checkups and hand washing practices are protective measures that significantly can reduce the risk of infection. Foodborne intestinal parasitic diseases are the major cause of morbidity and high death rate globally. Intestinal parasites impose a substantial global burden, affecting approximately 3.5 million people annually and causing over 200,000 reported deaths worldwide. Developing countries, especially those in sub-Saharan Africa, bear a higher burden of intestinal parasites compared to developed nations. And as a matter of fact, parasitic infections are called tropical diseases or diseases of the poor by the Western world. This infection not only causes morbidity and mortality, but also have long-term effects on the health, nutritional status, and overall development of affected individuals. Gastrointestinal illnesses impose significant social and economic burden, particularly in low and middle income countries where they are among the leading causes of morbidity and mortality. The loss of productivity due to illness affects not only individuals but also businesses and economies at large. The financial impact is further exacerbated by the high prevalence of such diseases in developing nations, where many people still consume contaminated water and lack proper sanitation. Food handlers play a critical role in the transmission of intestinal parasites, especially when they do not practice proper hand hygiene after using the toilet or before food preparation. In developing countries like Nigeria, urbanization has led to increased patronage of food service establishments where the health and hygiene practices of food handlers are critical in preventing food contamination. Unfortunately, food handlers are often employed without screening for infections that can be transmitted due to poor hygiene, such as intestinal parasites. The diversity of factors contributing to the spread of intestinal parasites, such as water sources, personal hygiene practices, and environmental sanitations, underscores the complexity of controlling this infection. Moreover, the diverse nature of this parasite species continue to influence the strategies employed to reduce and combat infection. The challenges of parasites. One health. One health is a relatively new field of research which examines the potential disease spread between animals and humans living in shared environment. One health studies the link between the increasing reliance on animals for food and manufacturing and the encroachment of wildlife habitats through activities such as deforestation and farming practices and the emergence and spread of zoonotic infections. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a wake-up call for countries to be better prepared for emerging infections that develop into large epidemic or pandemic. While one of the great pandemics have been caused by parasites, parasite diseases such as malaria and ehrlichiosis have historically spread around the world with human migration and technically fit this definition. Professor Oluwaseyi Adeyeba contribution to knowledge. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, ably represented by the Deputy Vice Chancellor. Professor Oluwaseyi Adeyeba research spans off area of parasite epidemiology as classified in the previous section, such as intestinal parasitic infection, blood parasite infections, hemoparasites, genitourinary parasitic infections, guinea worm infections, co-infections of parasite with bacteria, public health parasitology, molecular epidemiology of parasites, vectors, and medicinal plant evaluation. Intestinal parasitic infections. Intestinal parasitic infections are among the most critical public health problems all over the world. Patients infected with these parasites suffer from significant morbidity and mortality. The intestinal parasites are broadly classified into protozoan and helminths, although IPIs are more commonly seen in developing countries. They are also increasingly seen in developed countries due to globalization of food, international travel, and migration. The prevalence of IPIs varies from geographical location, social and environmental factors. They are the most prevalent diseases in developing countries, particularly in sub-Saharan climates, where overcrowding, inadequate sanitation, insufficient pure water supply, low income, low level of education, with poor knowledge about hygiene, food handlers with IPI and poor personal hygiene are more common. According to World Health Organization, 1.5 billion people, that is 24% of the world population, have IPIs, mainly the soil-transmitted helminths. More than 50% of the population has IPI in some regions of sub-Saharan Africa. India, entamoeba histolytica, and Clostridium are the most common intestinal protozoa infections in developing countries. Professor Adeyeba's contributions in the field of intestinal parasitic infection focus on the epidemiology of common intestinal parasitic infections, including their mode of transmission, short life cycle, clinical presentations, diagnosis, and prevention. There is particular and deliberate attention on epidemiology of intestinal parasitic infections among school children and their association with malnutrition and poverty. Adeyeba and Tijani 2002. Religious occupations, Adeyeba et al. 2023, among various communities in southwest Nigeria. Blood parasitic infection. Some parasites can be bloodborne. The parasite can be found in the bloodstream of infected people, and the parasite might be spread to other persons through exposure to an infected person's blood. For example, by blood transfusion or by sharing needles or syringes contaminated with blood. Parasitic diseases that can be bloodborne include African trypanosomiasis, babesiosis, Chagas disease, leishmaniasis, malaria, and toxoplasmosis. In nature, many bloodborne parasites are spread by insects, which are also vector. So they are also referred to as vector-borne diseases. In conjunction with other colleagues in the field, he has studied epidemiology of malaria parasite in various groups such as blood donors, pregnant women, children, and the efficacy of anti-malaria drugs. They reported that asymptomatic falciparum malaria and intestinal herpes infection do coexist without clinical symptoms, especially in school children. These findings suggest that multiple parasitic infections are in school-age children and in rural communities in Nigeria. That's Adeyeba and Elabo 2022. And pregnant women in Nigeria, Akiboro et al. 2010. In a related study, high prevalence of Plasmodium falciparum and helminth infections was observed among the pregnant women with primary gravidity, being the most susceptible to cold infection. Also, Professor Adeyeba and co-worker reported that 18.5% of HIV individuals have Plasmodium falciparum parasitemia without any direct contribution to anemia. Ojurobe et al. 2014. They recommended the need for constant screening and treatment of HIV individuals living in malaria endemic area for malaria parasitemia. Improved diagnostic techniques are also suggested to effectively detect this parasite, including urgent need to implement an effective malaria and soil-transmitted helminths preventive measure for this high-risk population. Genitourinary parasitic infections. Parasitic infections of the genitourinary system are a heterogeneous group of diseases that have some common features. Most parasitic infections are protein, and the host immune response react to the different stages of the parasite life cycle involving different parasite antigens. Although renal disease is not one of the main features, many parasitic infections are associated with glomerular lesions. While many parasites occur in the urinary tract, only 3 parasitic infections are relatively common, namely schistosomiasis, echinococcosis, and filariasis. Other parasites may also rarely infect the urinary system, such as leishmaniasis, trypanosomiasis, babesiosis, toxoplasmosis, trichinosis, microsporidiasis, fascioliasis, genital ameliorasis, photocariasis, candidiasis, and genital flagellates. Professor Adeyeba and co-authors conducted a study of prevalence of urinary schistosomiasis and concomitant bacteria among countries in Osun. Findings show that schistosomal hematobium is still being actively transmitted. Adeyeba and Ogbomoso 2022. The study provided a database for effective control plans and measures. They recommend that clinicians request urine microscopy culture and sensitivity rather than only urine microscopy in suspected cases of urinary schistosomiasis. because of high secondary bacterial infections. In addition, it is studied the prevalence of trichomoniasis among pregnant women using microscopic examination of high container swab and urine samples. The higher recovery rate of trichomonas vaginalis obtained by using high container swab confirmed its advantage over urine. Adeyeba 2003. It was recommended that pregnant women should register for antenatal clinic within the first trimester for adequate and timely management for their pregnancy, while ensuring regular screening to avoid premature rupture of membrane, leading to preterm labor and protection against sexually transmitted diseases. Yet, guinea worm infection, Draculayasis. Draculayasis, also called guinea worm disease, is a disease caused by the parasite guinea worm, Draculayasis medinensis. And usually, the disease has no initial symptoms. About 1 year later, there is a painful burning feeling as a blister forms, usually on the legs. The blister bursts as the worm then comes out of the skin over a few weeks. It affects people in rural, deprived, and isolated communities who depend mainly on open, stagnant surface water sources, such as ponds, for drinking water. During the mid-1980s, an estimated 3.5 million cases of draculayasis occurred in 20 countries worldwide, and 70 countries of which were in Africa and 3 others in Asia, and of course including Nigeria. In 1988, Professor Adeyeba designed a study to collect baseline information to form essential data for effective planning and possible evaluation of guinea worm control programs in Oyo State. In the study, 2,145 individuals were examined in 8 villages. 76.9% had history of draculayasis, while the infection rate at the time of study was 47.9%. There was no significant difference in infection rate between the sexes. However, the risk of infection increased with age. Infection occurs at any age above 1 year, and infection was common. And this indicates that no protective immunity was developed after infection. Adeyeba and Kale, 1991, and Adeyeba 2002. In Africa, the number of reported cases fell to fewer than 10,000 cases for the first time in 2007, dropping further to 542 cases in 2012 and 126 in 2014. Since 2015, human cases of guinea worm infection have stayed at double digits, from 22 in 2015 to 14 human cases in 2003. In 2003, human cases were reported from only 11 villages in 5 countries, which are Chad, South Sudan, Mali, and 1 case each from Cameroon and Central Republic of Africa, which are both certified countries in both instances. Cases were reported from Chad. Currently, 5 countries, Angola, Chad, Ethiopia, Mali, and South Sudan, are considered as endemic, while Sudan is also in the pre-certification stage. Nigeria, a country that at one time had the highest number of cases of draculayasis in the world, reduced the number of cases from more than 653,000 in 1988 to 0 in 2009, despite numerous challenges. Guinea worm infection is a special area of Professor Adeyeba's research. He served as State Secretary, Nigerian Guinea Worm Eradication Program, NIDEP, in the old Oyo State Ministry of Health. Later as Deputy Director, Vector Control, Osun State Ministry of Health, and also as the Chairman, NIDEP. During this period, guinea worm disease was eradicated through the effort of his team and government support. His PhD research was on guinea worm titled Epidemiological Studies on Draculayasis in Oyo State, Nigeria. Co-infection of parasites with bacteria. Parasites and bacteria have co-evolved with human beings, and they interact all the time in a myriad of ways. For example, some bacterial infections result from parasite-bearing bacteria, as in the case of Salmonella infection during schistosomiasis. Other bacteria synergize with parasites in the evolution of human disease, as in the case of interplay between Wolbachia, symbiote bacteria, and Filaria nematode, as well as the interaction between gametic bacteria and schistosoma hematobium in the pathogenesis of urinary bladder cancer. Moreover, secondary bacterial infections may complicate several parasitic diseases, such as Fusarium, leishmaniasis, and malaria, due to immunosuppression of the host during parasitic infection. Also, bacteria may colonize the parasitic lesions, for example, hydatid cysts and skin lesions of ectoparasites. Fusarium species, Proteus species, and Staphylococcus aureus are common bacterial agents isolated from gingival ulcer, Adeyeba 1985 and Adeyeba 1991. Public health microbiology. Intestinal parasite infections are among the most common infections transmitted through food contamination worldwide. Globally, an estimated 3.5 billion people are affected and 450 million people are ill because of intestinal parasitic infections. The majority being children. Food handlers infected with intestinal parasite with or without signs and symptoms could be a source of intestinal parasites in the community. Similarly, wastewater treatment plays a primordial role in preserving public health and environmental protection worldwide. Wastewaters are the vector and the reservoir of many pathogens, including helminths and protozoa. As a matter of fact, many epidemiological studies have highlighted the risk of raw wastewater being reused for agricultural purposes. Indeed, it has been shown that it significantly increases the prevalence of waterborne diseases in population living in those areas. Many intestinal parasites are directly related to fecal penis, for example, the amoebiasis, which is the third rank of most deadly parasitic diseases. The Ascaris lubricoides is the major pathogenic helminth involved in waterborne disease around the world, and intestinal parasite in food handlers, Adeyeba and Fabite 2002. Molecular epidemiology of parasites. Molecular epidemiology, broadly defined, is the application of molecular genetic techniques to the dynamics of disease in a population. Professor Adeyeba and co-authors have described molecular and analytical tools available for molecular epidemiological studies and then provide an overview of how they can be applied to better understand parasitic diseases. A range of new molecular tools have been developed in recent years, allowing for the direct examination of parasites from clinical or environmental samples and providing access to relatively cheap, rapid, and high-throughput molecular assays. Importantly, they have primarily applied molecular epidemiology to provide specific and sensitive diagnosis and identification of parasites. Their study revealed the need for complete shift from symptom-based diagnosis to parasite-based diagnosis, Olusoga et al. 2013. This is in view to bringing significant improvement to tropical fever management and reducing drug wastage and helping to curtail development of malaria drug resistance. Furthermore, they have also demonstrated the diversity and complexity of Plasmodium falciparum population in southwestern Nigeria. The MSP2 marker appears to be the most reliable genetic marker to evaluate diversity and complexity of Plasmodium falciparum infections. Olusoga et al. 2011. This approach, in addition to other molecular methods, will be used as part of the surveillance program for monitoring drug-resistant malaria. Disease vectors. Vectors are living organisms that can transmit infectious pathogens between humans or from animals to humans. Many of these vectors are blood-sucking insects, which ingest disease-producing microorganisms during a blood meal from an infected host, human or animal, and later transmit it into a new host. After the pathogen has been replicated, often, once a vector becomes infectious, they can transmit the pathogen for the rest of their life during each subsequent bite or blood meal. Arthropods form a major group of pathogen vectors with mosquitoes, flies, sandflies, lice, fleas, and mites, transmitting a huge number of pathogens. Housefly, Musca domestica, are common insects of the family Mucidae, other Dipteria. They are synanthropic insects that are widely distributed worldwide. They enter several places, including contaminated premises due to their own biological habit of feeding. This study identifies the pathogenic parasites and bacteria associated with the housefly in Ibadan. Musca domestica harbors parasites and bacteria on their external and internal parts. The housefly has mechanical potential to transmit pathogens to man. Adeyeba and Opala 2000. Also, cockroaches in the house can transport on their body surfaces and or in the gut transmissive stages of human intestinal parasites, and thus they serve as reservoirs and potential mechanical vectors for disease transmission. Cockroaches contaminate foods to which they have access with their feces and foul-smelling secretions, thereby making them offensive and unsafe for human consumption. Adeyeba et al. 2003. Medicinal plant evaluation. Ethnopharmacology refers to the cross-cultural study of natural resources used as medicine by ethnic and cultural groups. Ethnopharmacologists link research on medicinal plants with socio-cultural studies and often interview indigenous people to learn about the plants they use to treat injuries and infections. Recently, Professor Adeyeba and his team reported the danger of repeated consumption of tuna, corn in Yoruba, and monosodium glutamate, Ajinomoto, Magicillin Cube, and other brands. These two cooking ingredients are widely consumed in Nigeria and are various kinds of food. They show that repeated consumption of these food additives can impact negatively on the health of consumers as they alter some biochemical and hematological parameters after repeated administration in adult viscera. So caution should be exercised when using this ingredient for culinary purposes. Similarly, they also show that the health-damaging effect of potassium bromate can be significantly reduced when antioxidants such as L-arginine and vitamin C are taken as supplements, especially by those who are fond of eating bread. Despite the ban on the use of potassium bromate for baking, bakers still continue to use it, especially in bread. Oluwaseyi et al. 2023. Nubodia levis leaf, away and cocoa in Yoruba, are not effective management strategies. In agriculture, parasite poses a significant challenge by reducing crop yields and livestock productivity. Parasite infestation in crops, such as nematodes and aphids, can lead to significant financial losses for farmers and disrupt food supply chains. Likewise, livestock diseases caused by parasites, such as ticks and termites, increase production costs through veterinary treatment and decrease meat and dairy yields. However, some parasitic organisms, like parasitoid wipes, are used as biological control agents to manage pest population, reducing the reliance on chemical pesticides and promoting sustainable farming. In public health, parasites contribute to economic burdens by increasing healthcare costs and reducing workforce productivity. Malaria, schistosomiasis, and hookworm infections result in millions of lost work and school days annually, particularly in developing nations. Treating parasitic infections requires substantial resources, including medications, infrastructure, and parasitic and prevention programs. However, studying parasites and less than the medical breakthroughs, such as using parasitic nematodes in immune disorder research and leeches in modern microsurgery. In conservation, parasites play an essential role in ecosystem balance by regulating wildlife populations and maintaining biodiversity. Some parasites serve as environmental indicators, signaling ecological changes before they become critical. Understanding parasite multifaceted roles allow for more effective and sustainable management strategies in agriculture, healthcare, and conservation. By considering their benefits and challenges, scientists and policymakers can develop innovative solutions that balance economic interests with public health and environmental sustainability. Recommendations. Parasites remain a significant public health concern, requiring a coordinated one-health approach that integrates human, animal, and environmental health. Collaboration among experts is essential to developing effective prevention and control strategies, reducing the burden of parasitic diseases, and promoting global health, sustainability, and well-being. 2. Treating malaria without laboratory confirmation is unethical. ACTs are the first-line treatment for uncomplicated malaria, while injectable artesunate is best for severe cases. Quality laboratory diagnosis using microscopy as a WHO standard ensures an accurate diagnosis. Without testing, Nigeria's malaria data remains unreliable, hindering control efforts. 3. Greater effort is needed to end the neglect of neglected tropical diseases. The success of Guinea worm eradication proves that schistosomiasis and other neglected tropical diseases can be eliminated. Stakeholders must prioritize disease prevention through improved sanitation, clean environment, and sustained interventions to stop their spread and ensure a healthier life and future. 4. The government should invest in developing new drugs from Nigeria's abundant yet untapped medicinal plants. The success of ADEYEMI, the source of artesunate, highlights the importance of plant-based drug discovery in advancing healthcare and addressing critical medical needs. Postgraduate supervision and mentoring. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, the pursuit of knowledge is just one phase of Prof. Adeyeba's job as an academic and a professor. Like many successful academics, the most important and fulfilling part of his career is mentoring to produce competent, thorough-bred successors, a better clone of himself. It is not only about academic or research, but to shaping minds and characters. His long-lasting legacy will be the students that have passed through his tutelage, mentorship over the years, their families, and students. From the students he met in the classroom to the first undergraduate student and the last set of his PhD students, he is more convinced and fulfilled that he has made them better persons in terms of character, education, and broader views of life. He has made contributions and mentored youth to becoming adult and responsible personalities in societies, including industry and academia. Many of them are seated here today as captains of industry and top researchers and academics. Some are professors already. Professor Adeyeba is profoundly proud to point out that the guest lecturer of today on his behalf is one of his mentees, a former undergraduate student. Over the decades, in his sojourn as a teacher at various levels in the university system, he has supervised so many undergraduate and postgraduate students that are too numerous to mention at master's, MPhil, and PhD level that are spread all over the world. And notably, among these students are Bolaji Olusoga, who is an associate professor now at Osun State University. Monet Peter Declan, who graduated in 2015, Wakil, also graduated in 2019 and also an associate professor. Ayokunle Akim Ademola, a senior lecturer and acting head of Department of Pharmacology at Osun State University. Kolawole Oletunji Timothy, Olofiyade Anthony Tope, and so on and so forth. Acknowledgement. Professor Adeyeba can only count his blessings and give praises to glorify Almighty God for his kindness and mercy, for equipping him with the intellectual, physical, emotional, and spiritual capabilities to fulfill his academic, professional, and family dreams, for endowing him with his strength and desire to serve humanity better. The psalmist says, if it had not been the Lord who is on my side, when men rose against me, then they had swallowed me up quick. When their wrath was kindled against me, My help is in the name of the Lord who made heaven and earth. Psalm 124, verses 1 to 3 and 8. He thanked all his teachers from primary to university level, including his PhD supervisor, especially Professor Kalilu, who sent him on the journey of academic life. He is greatly indebted to the following people who contributed to his success in life. Parents, Prince Samuel Adeyeba, Olori Abigail Ago-Iwoye Adeyeba. His siblings, Princess Victoria Omifare, late Princess Martins, Julius Adeyeba, and Princess Eunice Akinlade. His maternal cousin, Baba Brody, Chief Oladipo Adeyemi, House of Sheyi Adeyeba, Olori Olunike, Princess Adewale, Engineer Adedeji, Engineer Titilope Oluwa, and Barrister Ebenezer and grandchildren. Also, the House of Samuel Adewale and close brethren. Mentors from Reverend Dr. Babatunde Adeyeba, Professor Akinola M. Salau, Professor Dennis Agbolahan, Professor Samusa Lekon Salimonu, Engineer Amos Alade Makinde, Mr. Israel Oladipo Ampa Israel Boye, that's the principal of Ife Grammar School. Reverend S.N.B. Professor Oladele Kale, Professor Oladipo Ogbomoso, Professor Kule Fagemi, Professor Oluwole Adegboyega, to mention a few. We would like to extend this thanks to all the wonderful and amiable Vice Chancellor in LAUTECH that he has been blessed and worked with, starting with Professor Akinola M. Salawu, Professor B.P. Adeleke, Professor L. Nassar, Professor A. Badegeshi, Professor M. Ololude, the Professor M. Oliasu. He would like to also show gratitude and appreciation to the indefatigable and visionary Vice Chancellor, the person of Professor Rom KALILU, who graciously gave him the platform and opportunities for this wonderful and memorable meritorious retirement. He salutes you, sir, all the past and present principal officers of our noble citadel of learning are all well saluted and appreciated. To his department, medical microbiology and parasitology, a deep gratitude goes to you all. Head of department, Professor Layinka, whose leadership has been inspiring. The distinguished professors, Professor S.S. Taiwo, Professor Adekunle Olowe, Professor Durogbe, and Professor Yemisi Adeshiki, they are all acknowledged and appreciated. They have all been his outstanding colleagues. It is noteworthy that President Adeyeba received all of these professors in the department, being the first lecturer and the pioneer head of the department. He is delighted to see them achieving great feats in their respective fields. Furthermore, he extends his sincere appreciation to the incredible technical team of the department. A special mention goes to his daughter, Mrs. Adeyeba, and son, Mr. Olusoga, for their dedication and hard work. To the entire team working with you has been an absolute pleasure. The memories and bonds created together in the department will always remain dear to his heart. To his beloved students who have made him happy and become the scholar that he is today, Dr. Akindele Ajayi, Dr. Mrs. Adiola Ajayi, Dr. Adedapo Adegoke, Dr. T. Bidemi Ogola, Professor Emmanuel Olufemi Akoni, Professor Musa Muibi, Dr. Ebenezer Abitoye, Dr. George Taiwo, Dr. Akoni Ologun, Dr. Ismaila Lawal, MLS Abiola Obolabi, MLS Ibukun Komalafe, MLS Tosin Owoyemi, Dr. Oloyede Samuel Bolaji, Dr. Samuel Adeyinka Adedogun, Dr. Akim Ayokunle, Dr. Abayomi Oshatimi, Dr. Green Adediran Motunde, Professor Dr. Olayemi Wakil, Dr. Timothy Kolawole, Dr. Adekunle Adesina, Dr. Tihu Adebayo, MLS Abiodun Adegoke, MLS Olusegun Adefe, and host of others. All friends and colleagues in the university and profession. Professor Oyebode Terry Alia, Adebayo, Professor Adebayo Nassar, Chris Ibenewu, including Mr. Babatunde Okolawo, and lots of others too numerous to mention. To the Church of God, most especially Orita Member Baptist Church Bible, and Christ Ambassador Evangelist Team, Reverend Dr. Adeyeba, Reverend Shion Olawore, Reverend Babajide Adegbelero, Dickens, Akobo Omolayo, House of Fellowship, MMU, and Adult Men 3 Sunday class members. Prof. Aderemi Sadami, Pastor Dr. Ladejo Akande, and others in CAET. He says a big thank you to you all. He is not leaving out his friends, well-wishers, and the entire university community that are too numerous to mention in the adoration. Thank you. God bless you.
Let's be seated. We ask that the Lord at this point we demand that somebody find I know the list. Call on people following my mind. I have the permission of the Vice Chancellor. I would like to call on the Provost of the College of Health Sciences, Professor Adeyeba, the Provost, sir.
Good afternoon, the Vice Chancellor,